here, and today for this video I have a lot of Marvel news from Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man Brand New Day, Marvel Zombies, and even Daredevil Born Again. So let's start with the Marvel Zombies news, and this news is that in their first week of release, they already fulfilled all of the expectations of Disney, so this means that they are going to make a season 2 that could release in next year or in 2 years. And if you saw the series or my review, you know that this series ends in suspense, so we obviously need a new season. And who could be the main characters of this season? The only confirmed ones would be Miss Marvel and Ironheart. They are the only survivors that we saw at the end of the last episode, because the rest we don't know if they actually survived. But who are other characters that we could see in this second season? Well, I think we could see Winter Soldier, that even though we saw him die in the What If episode of the Zombies, we never saw like his actual body or him zombified, so probably he didn't die when Scarlet Witch threw him away, but like he's a super soldier, he survived the fall. Another team that we could see is the Guardians of the Galaxy, because like zombie Thanos killed Groot and Rocket, and it's already past 5 years. I think the Guardians are going to go to investigate what happened, and we could see Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Mantis, Nebula, and maybe even Warlock. Then we could also see the Defenders, that we haven't seen what happened to all of these characters in the affections that are like Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Punisher, and all of the Netflix series characters. We could also see more of the Eternals, that we know that we already saw Icarus fighting eternally against the zombie Captain Marvel, but we still haven't seen the rest of them, so it would be cool to see them. And finally, the last one is Sentry, that he is just like there in the vault, but one day he's going to wake up in this zombie apocalypse world, and it would be epic that he goes to help Icarus fight against Captain Marvel. And like obviously Sentry is more powerful than Captain Marvel, even if she's zombie, he will win the battle, and at the end Icarus will be free of his fight, and he will be able, alongside Sentry, to fight against the zombies. And the final theory is that Spider-Man is going to become the new Moon Knight, because like Blade already died, the Khonshu needs a new Moon Knight, and I think that when Spider-Man was about to die, Khonshu is going to offer him the deal to become Moon Knight, and Spider-Man obviously is going to accept, because if not, he's going to die, and that's how we're going to see Spider-Man again in this story. Then continuing with some Brand New Day news, the first one that is a very sad one, that in the New York Comic Con there was no trailer. I think that this was a very bad decision of Sony, because it would be a great way for them to show us what they want this movie to be about. But well, whatever, we'll have to wait for some months for the first teaser. Then we also have the news that Marvin Jones III is going to become the new Tom Stone in Spider-Man Brand New Day, that actually this actor already was the voice of Tom Stone in Into the Spider-Verse, so I think that he already knows the character, and it's great that he's coming back in the live action format. And even though we don't know that if Tom Stone is going to be main villain, or if he's only going to be a flashback villain that Spider-Man defeated in all of these years, this character is an important character in the comics. And if you don't know who he is, he was basically an albino guy that was very bullied in school, and so that's why he became a criminal, and he started ascending until he became a very important criminal leader. And one day he injected a substance that made him stronger and with a very good resistance, and if they want to do this as a main villain, they could manage that Roxanne is the one who gives him this substance, and is one of the millions of villains that Roxanne is going to send to defeat Spider-Man. And I actually hope that this character is a main villain and not a flashback villain. And finally, the last news of Spider-Man Brand New Day is that we have a video of the filming of this movie in the outside world, where we basically can see Peter Parker attached to this tank that we've seen in a lot of pictures that we already know that is from Roxanne, and he's trying to enter to a prison of the Department of Damage Control, and some guards see him, and well, they start like shooting at him, but Spider-Man knocks him out. And I think that what's happening in this scene is that this tag from Roxanne wants to help the Scorpion escape from prison, and Spider-Man's trying to stop it, but these guards think that he is the one that wants to help Scorpion escape, and that's why they shoot at him. But at the end, Spider-Man is going to try to stop Scorpion. Somehow Scorpion is going to escape, then he's going to get his suit, his symbiote, and that's when he's going to give a good battle to Spider-Man. And well, now starting with the Daredevil Born Again news, we have that in season 3, not in even the season 2 that's coming out next year. In season 3, we are going to see Elektra again. And if you didn't see the Netflix series, basically in the Defenders series, we could see that both Daredevil and Elektra were supposedly crushed by a whole building, but somehow Daredevil managed to survive, but we never saw Elektra again. But maybe she survived, and maybe she's been hiding like over 12 years, maybe she even blipped, so it would only be like 7, and she decides to go back in the season 3 to go back with Daredevil, and that's going to make a whole mess in Matt Murdock's life. But I'm so happy that we're going to see her back, because I think that is a great character and that she shouldn't be dead. And well, now we can fully enter into the Avengers Doomsday news. So the first news is that Daniel RPK, the most reliable insider, said that Ghostrider was going to appear in this movie. And there is 2 options. The first option is that this character appears as the version of him, of Robbie Reyes that we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that basically was this guy that had a car accident, and the past Ghostrider of Johnny Blaze passed him, the Ghostrider, and now he is the new Ghostrider that actually Robbie Reyes does appear in the comics. But like he appears in the series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and this series is not completely canon. I'm not sure if he is the Ghostrider that Daniel RPK is talking about, because like the Defender series in the past, this series supposedly was in the Marvel Universe, but Marvel never confirmed it. But if we actually saw this version of Ghostrider in the Avengers Doomsday movie, we could confirm that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in the MCU. But if it's not this version of Ghostrider, it could also be the Nicolas Cage Ghostrider from the 2010 movies. They're not very good movies, but the actual Ghostrider character is cool. And basically this character, it could appear in this movie because he created an incursion, and Dr. Doom is also going to chase him, but somehow he's going to be saved by the Avengers, and then he's going to help the Avengers to defeat Dr. Doom. And I think that both options are cool, because even though I do want to see Nicolas Cage as Ghostrider again, I would also love that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series is canon. Then we also have the news that a Marvel movie that was set for July of 2027 was cancelled, and they used this date for the Simpsons 2 movie. And even though it's great that we're getting a Simpsons 2 movie, this means supposedly that there's not going to be any movies between Avengers 5 and Avengers 6, or at least for now there's no date. But I don't think that this actually means that there's not going to be no movie, just that they still don't have a date. But probably we're going to get a movie like in February or May, or in both. And these movies could be Ant-Man 4, Black Panther 3, Thor 5, or Doctor Strange 3. And all of them would get a super good profit, because like they're in between Avengers movies, those movies always get a lot of money. We also have news that we're going to get the first trailer, or well, teaser of Avengers Doomsday this December, and they're going to show it to us in, if you go to the theaters to see Avatar 3, because like Disney knows that Avatar 3 is always a great business. They're going to put this trailer in these movies so that all of the people that are that are going to see Avatar 3, they also see this teaser, and all of these people are also going to want to see Avengers Doomsday, and I think that this is great. Obviously, in this trailer, we're only going to see the characters that are already confirmed, but this is a huge variety of characters. We have all of the Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, some X-Men, Doctor Doom, and the Avengers, so it's a lot of different teams, and I think that they could do a great trailer where we can see more of Doctor Doom, more of the X-Men, and that is going to be super hyping, and I'm obviously going to see Avatar 3, so I'm obviously going to see this trailer. And finally, the last Avengers news is that the Russo brothers posted this picture and they said, "Look carefully." And basically, after some hours, the main theory is that some of the objects of this picture form the letters here of A, V, X. Basically, Avengers versus X-Men, and this is something that we know that was going to happen because like the X-Men universe from the Marvel's post-credits was going to incursion against the normal universe. We are going to see the Avengers trying to go to the Earth of the X-Men so that they can help each other to fix this, but at the end a fight is going to result and we're going to see epic fights like maybe Hulk against Colossus, Sentry against Cyclops, Captain America against Wolverine, and all of this is going to be great. And basically this confirms it, but it could also be that this image means something more. So if next week there's some updates, I'll obviously tell them to you. But well, with that be all for this video. I hope that you're super excited for all of the Marvel upcoming projects. And remember to like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.